Andy Lee and I recently wrapped up round 4, races 7 and 8 at Virginia International Raceway.
You know, there's tracks, you know, as a driver that just suit your style. VIR is not that track for me. VIR has always been a big challenge.
VIR is a very, very technical track. It's one of my favorites. You have everything from incredibly high-speed S's down into low-speed hog pen entry and high-speed hog pen exit.
Got this mix of technical with high speed and pretty high grip too, high traction levels. But when you find the end of that traction, you're usually going very, very fast.
I had a pretty interesting mishap in my qualifying where I went out and did a pretty big lawn job, but still managed to land back on track. We went into the weekend with a lot of enthusiasm. We were starting to find pace in the car. We were happy with the setup. Qualifying, we qualified 4th and 4th respectively.
When it came time for qualifying, I only got a lap and a half before my qualifying session went red. I barely got a lap on the board, and fortunately it was good enough to be inside the top 10, but certainly not what we were hoping for in that qualifying session or expecting.
Race 1, Andy started in the car first. He delivered me a car in 3rd place. I fought hard against an Emshoff car. Ultimately, I fell to 4th and finished Saturday's race in 4th. Sunday, we had a temperature benefit because we had a nice cloud layer and a little bit of breeze, which was better for us, made the cars happier. I started out in the car, and after my successful stint, handed the car over to Andy.
We've kind of had a string of 4th and 5th going and good points. And then on Sunday, when I got in the car, you know, after Slade just did a stellar job of like putting me in a good position, he held off one of our most competitive cars in our class. I was able to get ahead of that car, and I just had clear track ahead of me for the most part. But the top 3 were pretty far ahead at that point, and it seemed like I didn't have enough time to catch up. So I was thinking we were kind of in that 4th place neighborhood again, but you know, fortunately, you know, one of the cars ahead of us had a moment and went off, and we were able to come back with a 3rd place finish, our first podium of the season.
It was our first podium of the season, and you know, it felt really, really good to finally break through that barrier.
And then in post-race tech, you know, we inherited another position. Apparently one of the other cars failed tech inspection, and so that bumped us up to 2nd place.
It was a grueling, grueling environment. We have not been in conditions that were that hot and that muggy for the entire series yet this year. You could see it on everybody's faces that it was just absolutely brutal.
The cars themselves were having a hard time, especially on Saturday during the race. It was an interesting experience to drive these cars in that level of temperature. It seemed like they didn't want to do anything very well in that kind of heat.
You know, as a driver, when you have your full fire suit, undersuit on, you have your fire race suit on, leather gloves, leather shoes, your helmet sock, and you're inside the race car, you know, and that motor, that V10's right behind you. The inside of that cabin's about 120 degrees. You could see it on the fans' faces when they would come in for our garage tour. We love seeing our fans, but we also recognized how brutal it was for them, given the environmental conditions that weekend.
I'd say this podium is largely a result of all their hard work, you know, before this weekend even got started. Something that nobody else saw really except for us, but definitely want to thank those guys for, you know, sweating their asses off under a tent and just making this stuff, you know, work. So yeah, our guys did phenomenal.
Indianapolis is next. This is our last US-based round. We're very, very encouraged, you know, where the car is at. We know that we have a lot of work to do in Indianapolis in order to increase our championship point standings.
I'm very excited about that, and it's a track that Slade also knows really well, so we'll see what we can come away with.
You know, it's been a challenging year in Pro-Am for Andy and I. I think probably more so for myself than him, but I couldn't be happier with the results of where we are. We know we've got work ahead of us, but with the amazing team in Flying Lizard Motorsports, you know, I'm definitely very excited.